Hi, I'm Kelly with Three Fingers Cove Homestead, where I make cute cakes, cupcakes, and more. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, I thought we would make some awesome candy rosebuds and a heart-shaped cake. Stay with me as we make the heart-shaped cakes and these wonderful candy rosebuds. For candy rosebuds, you'll need green floral sticks, red clear film, floral wire, and that is optional. I've done this with the regular twist ties too. Green floral tape, chocolate candy kisses, glue dots, and for tools you can use something as simple as kitchen scissors. I do have these two other tools. They are totally optional. I've done this project many a times with kitchen scissors. Let's get started. We'll begin the candy rosebuds by first cutting the red film. I am going to make this about 6 inches by 6 inches. My husband made this board for me so I can cut them easily. I'm just going to roll this out where it laps over the board just a tad. The board's about 5 inches wide, 5.5 inches wide, and then about another 1/2 inch on the side, so that's about 6 inches. I'm going to use my yardstick to keep a straight edge on the edge of the board. I'm going to use my knife to cut along the edge of the yardstick. I'm going to next cut these 6 inches across as well. And I'll be back with you in just a moment after I get these all cut up. Now we're going to take our floral sticks. These are the longer ones, and I have used the full stick for the long stem roses. But today I'm going to cut them down, and I'm going to make them 4, 5, and 6 inches long. I'm going to use my ruler and my scissors, my kitchen shears. I'm just going to mark 4 inches. Then I'm going to mark 5 inches from that one. I'm going to score the floral stick with the scissors. And then they snap right off. My husband suggested that I use these as templates so I don't have to measure each one. I thought that was a wonderful idea. So I'm just going to use these as my templates. I have several of those all prepared. I've made these adorable rosebuds for many occasions. At a place of employment, we made it for every woman on Mother's Day. Everyone really enjoyed that. I've made these for Christian women conferences, schools, friends, family. I've made these on many, many occasions. I'm going to get my candy kisses ready by using my glue dots. I'm going to stick the candy kisses bottom to bottom with a glue dot. I do have several varieties of candy kisses, and I'm going to use, I found these candy cane ones right after Christmas on the after Christmas special. I'm going to try some of those. Again, I'm just using the glue dot and sticking them bottom to bottom. I also have some plain kisses. I'm going to try some of those. Sticking them together. Now I'm going to take a piece of red film that I cut earlier. These are the 6x6. You can make these a little smaller. I just like to have a little extra to wrap around so they're very secure. I'm going to take one of the pairs of kisses and stick it right in the middle of the red film. I am pulling that pretty tight around the candy kisses, and I'm also twirling it so it gets tighter around the kisses. Just going to wrap it in the red film and twist it tight. Use one of my floral sticks. Use my wire. Pulling that really tight on those first couple of rounds on the wire. I'm going to just trim that off a little bit. And then just continue down this floral stick. Didn't even need to trim that one off. I'm going to cover that with my floral tape. Just going to wrap that one. Oops, it slid just a tad. All right, I'll bring you back after I make a couple of these, and then we're going to try an experiment with regular everyday household items. Stay with me. You could involve your family in helping you make these. They would have a lot of fun. We could help you stick the candies together, prepare everything in advance. Maybe make a little assembly line involving your whole family. I made these to take to a school one time, and I used a green pencil instead of the floral sticks, so the kids had something to keep after they ate the candy. And that was a lot of fun. I made these for a Toastmaster function one time as well, for table decorations. I also made them for a bridal shower one time. That was adorable. All right, made several of those, and now we're going to try an experiment. We're going to use these beautiful candy cane kisses and just some ordinary cling wrap that everyone would have around their house. I'm going to take a piece of the cling wrap and some regular Scotch tape, and I'm going to make one maybe. Oh, there we go. I'm going to make one of the candy cane kiss ones. Using the glue dots. I have used regular glue on these as well, but it kind of melts the kisses inside. I prefer the glue dots. So I'm going to wrap this one in the cling wrap. I am pulling it pretty tight. If you have any of the shish kebab sticks, you could use that around your house. I am going to use the floral stick, and I'm going to use some Scotch tape and see if I can get that to stick together. I'm pulling the Scotch tape really tight. To cut that excess off there with my scissors. And it did work. So if you have cling wrap and Scotch tape, you can make these. And they're very adorable. I'm so happy I found these candy cane kisses after Christmas. They make an adorable candy rosebud. I'm going to make a few with the cling wrap. I'm going to display our candy rosebuds in these nice little glasses. I have some leftover red film. Just gonna poke some red film down in there. Just to make it look pretty. Then I'm going to begin placing my candy rosebuds in there. I am going to mix this one up and do some of the clear experiment, and it turned out wonderful. I'm going to do some regular ones, and I'm just sticking them down in this red film. I also made a few of the almond kisses with the clear. I thought the gold looked very pretty. Isn't that adorable? For the heart cake, you'll need a square cake, a round cake. I did use the Betty Crocker Super Moist Yellow, and I used Betty Crocker Triple Chocolate. I'm also going to use vanilla frosting. I'm going to do some experimenting today. I'm going to try sweet moist coconut, and I'm going to use my food coloring to color it pink. I'm going to try to make some hearts out of watermelon gummy rings and some ribbon out of Twizzlers. Let's get started. We'll start our heart cake with a square cake. Now I did butter and flour my pan, but I also used parchment paper, so I'm just removing that parchment paper. I'm going to frost my cake white. Going to give it a quick thin little layer at first. Since this is a chocolate cake, I am giving it a crumb coat. I'm going to get the sides as well with a thin layer of frosting. It's okay if some crumbs get in there, that's why it's the crumb coat. We'll come back with another coat and it'll take some of the crumbs out of there, or it'll cover up any crumbs that we might have gotten in our frosting. Now this will be part of the heart cake. I'm going to make a diamond shape here in the lower section of my board. So I'm just going to slide this cake right off into a diamond shape right there. Gonna push it up just a tad. I'm going to let that frosting set up just a little bit, so once we place our round cake on, we can come back with another layer of frosting and cover up any of the crumbs that did get in the frosting from the first coat. Now we're going to take the round cake. Again, I did butter and flour my pan and use parchment paper, so I'm just going to remove that parchment paper. Then I'm going to take the round cake and I'm going to cut it in half. I am going to give this a crumb coat as well. Putting it on very thin. I'm also going to do the edges. I'm also going to do the inside of the cake where I cut it in half with the crumb coat. Next, I'm going to slide this iced half off onto the board, and I'm going to butt it up right next to the square cake. And that will be the top part of the heart. I'm going to give this other half a crumb coat, and then I'll bring you back once it's all frosted. All right, I have this one all frosted, and I'm going to slide it off onto the board to meet up to the square cake. Just gonna fix that frosting up just a bit there. I'm going to go ahead and start filling in these gaps with icing a little bit so it meets up really well. I'm just going to pile in some icing along here. Just so it looks level or close to it. We'll come back with another coat of frosting in just a bit and smooth it all out. Just smoothing it out a little and filling in any gaps. any large gaps. Gonna come to this side and fill in any gaps over here as well. Just gonna check the top, see how that's matching up, and it's looking really good. So we're gonna let this icing set up just a bit, and then we'll come back with the final coat. While we're waiting for that crumb coat to set up, I am going to go ahead and get my coconut ready. I put a little bit of food coloring in this bag with just some water to help thin it out just a tad. I'm going to add my coconut straight into the bag with the food coloring. I want to make this pink if I can. I'm going to use most of this bag. There's about a half a bag of coconut here. I am going to save just a little for another project. Now that I have about half a bag in here, I'm just going to roll it around and see if I can get that evenly coated inside of there. I am using the sweetened moist coconut. That's my favorite. I'm going to attempt to make some decorations for the heart cake since we're having a snowstorm and I don't want to drive to town. I'm going to try to take these watermelon gummy rings and make them into hearts. I'm just going to use my kitchen scissors and cut them into a heart shape. And there we go. A little modified heart. Trim a little off this side, a little more. And there we go, little heart shape. I'm going to attempt to make a bow. I'm going to take two Twizzlers. I'm going to twist them together so it makes one long strand. Just pinching it together a little bit so it'll hold together. Then I'm going to attempt to make a bow. Pretty close. Going to cut the ends off kind of at an angle to give it a little depth on both sides. And there we have our bow. So we'll have bows and hearts on top of our cake. Alright, I want to let that sit a moment. Our crumb coat should be set up pretty well. I'm going to do my final layer of icing. Doesn't have to be perfect since we will have coconut over the top of it. There we go. Nice and smooth. Very nice. Almost had exactly enough frosting. Excellent. Excellent. Just checking any last spots. Smoothing it out. Last, I'll be adding my red coconut. Ended up quite dark, much darker than I intended, but that's fine. I like the color. I'm going to place the red coconut on top of the cake and fill in any last gaps that need filled in. Just going to smooth that out and spread it around. Kind of pat it down into the icing or frosting. Just trying to get an even layer all across the cake. Patting it in very firm into the frosting. Very good. Last, I'm going to put on the bows that we made earlier. I'm going to place those kind of to the right hand side of the cake. Just a couple of bows. And then I'm going to place the hearts that we made out of the gummies earlier. Kind of pile those up here in the middle. And there we have our heart cake. You can decorate it any way you would like to. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this heart cake and these adorable candy rosebuds. I hope I inspired you to decorate a cake in 2022. Thank you again for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.